last 2 years, he led his team to 2 NBA championships. In both, he nabbed Most Valuable Player, the first to do so since Michael Jordan. And he accomplished it with that rare commodity these days in basketball, at least, grace and humility. Houston Rockets center, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, is our guest tonight. My first guest is the first player in NBA history to win Defensive Player of the Year, Most Valuable Player of the Year, and MVP in the finals. The words used to describe him aren't normally associated with basketball players: grace, serenity, and calmness. When he arrived from his native Nigeria in 1983, he was nicknamed the Dream. So meet the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem, nice to see you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the compliments.
Oh, yes? Well, listen, you know, I soften you up, and then I come in for the kill, so watch out for me, you know what I mean? Speaking of kill, somebody said they had listed somewhere that you killed a lion once. Is that true? You didn't kill a lion, did you?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you? All right. Now, you came here in 83.
1980.
80?
Yes.
Okay. And you went to the Houston, you went to University?
No, University of Houston for 3 years.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah. Were you a good basketball player from day one, or were you a lousy basketball player in the beginning who needed discipline, or what happened?
Day one from where? From Nigeria or from...
You learned to play in Nigeria, right? For what,
yes.
A year in high school or something?
Yes, 1 year.
Were you any good?
My senior year in high school. I was playing other sports: soccer, volleyball, field hockey, high jump, more of an all-around athlete. But the coach was telling me that basketball is your game. But finally, when I pick up basketball, then I have to learn the rules of the game, and the game became more interesting to me, where I learned quickly the rules, then also develop different skills from other sports to translate that to basketball.
When I was in college, I did play-by-play of basketball, and I always thought it was a very tough sport. People don't realize, because football players have all that equipment on to protect them. You guys are really out there punching and elbowing and moving and little shoulder shots and 2-inch punch. Am I right?
Yes, basketball is supposedly non-contact sport.
Non-contact,
really,
no. It's,
really.
Guys come out of there look like they've been run over by a truck. Am I right?
That's true.
Under the boards, I mean, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on.
Of course, especially today's player, so much, bigger and stronger and also faster. So a lot of body contact and physical strength.
Anybody ever intimidate you?
Well, intimidation, it becomes a mind game where you have to rely on your own ability and conditioning, and that's what's important. As long as I'm in condition, and the rest is just competition, and just compete.
You ever worry about getting hurt?
No, I mean, it's part of the game.
It is.
You just have to think positive, just play the game the way it should be played, and the rest will take care of itself.
You ever deck somebody, just get angry and lose it because you seem so calm and serene all the time? You must get angry, you must get emotional.
My early years in the pros.
Early years in the pros.
Yes, I have very quick tempo. And,
you have a quick temper?
Yes, I used to. Now I have more patience.
Well, they say that you're a Muslim, right?
Yes.
Has religion helped calm you down? Is that?
Yes, the Islam it means peace. So
Islam.
Give me a peace of mind, and also...
Why? How come so many aggressive guys get into that religion? I mean, Muhammad Ali's punched a few guys out in his life too,
But this is it gives you peace and also understanding, a lot of knowledge, to more tolerance, be kindful, but you only, you do it for one purpose only, to please God. So.
When you first came here, were you worried about bigotry in the United States, that somebody was going to say something to you about being black? Had you heard that there was bigotry in the United States and that kind of thing, or did that ever cross your mind?
No, I grew up in Nigeria where, even all the black, most of the black tribes, I still have this, in between, the prejudice of the black, in between. And we
but black between black?
Yes, I mean, just...
If you were, what tribe was your family ancestors?
Yoruba.
Okay,
Yoruba.
and so you you guys had prejudice against another tribe and they had a prejudice against your tribe?
No, it depends on the individual. I mean, you have to, I grew up in Lagos, the melting pot.
Yeah, Lagos is a fairly big city. Right?
Yes, it's the melting pot, like New York. So you have to learn how to deal with other people from other culture, where you have to rise above and think global rather than ethnic groups or the racial or language barrier. You have to look at, you have to understand that we are all people, and what differentiates us is our character. I choose people as friends on what they stand for, what they believe, their principles. So,
where did you get that? Parents teach you that, or did school, or did what happened?
Originally, my background, my parents, and also when you come to Islam, those are the things that you have to cut through. You don't see color or language or barrier. You look at the people, what they stand for, the characteristics of the individual. Are they sincere? What kind of person are they? Are they honest? Are they hardworking? Are they willing to help the society, to be part of the positiveness of this, of the growth of the society? Things like that shows how to choose your friends. What do they stand for? Are they promoting evil or they're promoting good? So you want to be on the good side. So it's very easy to work with the same people that have the same view.
I knew Malcolm X 30 years ago here in this country, and there was a time when the Muslims in this country were very strongly anti-white. I don't know if that still exists. Is that part of what you belong to, or is that something different?
No, I think people don't understand Islam. Islam is not black or white. In fact, that's the beauty of Islam. The beauty of Islam is to see people from all different parts of the world united under one submission, which is God. Believers are one family. So we talk about believers in one God. So Islam is believers in one God because God created white, black, any color. So if we believe in God, then we have to be good.
How do you feel about Catholics? I mean, do you accept other people's religion as, okay, that's their thing? And
the beauty, that's another beauty of Islam. Islam is the last link on the long chain. We have to believe in all the prophethood. Like, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, they all come from the same message sent by God to convey their message to humanity. So once you disbelieve in one of them, then you're no longer a believer. You have to believe in all of the prophethood.
When you're in the heat of a basketball game and somebody sticks an elbow in your ribs very hard, is your first instinct to get them back or think of Islam and peace? I mean, do you have to wrestle with that in a game?
No, you have two choices. First of all, you look at the intent. Did they do it intentionally? Then if it's intentionally, then they have two choices. I can retaliate, I will not be the aggressor as much as he does, or I can overlook it. So that's my choice. Either way, I'm not wrong. But once I'm the aggressor, then I violate Islamic law, Islamic code.
So you can retaliate defensively?
Defensively, not to be the aggressor. Or you can forgive. But Islam recommends if you forgive, that's much better in the sight of a God.
Now, in Christianity, if you do something wrong, you can ask forgiveness, and God forgives. So if you really get angry, can you go over and pop the guy one and then say, hey, I'd like to be forgiven, or is that doesn't work?
Then you are the aggressor.
Okay, so then you've
we're
gone
not the
over
aggressor.
Okay.
The Islam teaches us to humility, tolerance, but be firm against injustice. Very firm for justice, and be firm against injustice. And show the beauty of the love and the kindness and the tolerance, things that people need to know about Islam.
Did you grow up in a middle class or a lower middle class or a rich home, or what kind of home did you grow up in?
Middle class.
Middle class?
Yes.
And you got a pretty good education. You spoke English because they speak English. Primary language over there is...
We were under the British colony, so...
So, yeah.
So they established the English system, educational system.
What was your first impression of the United States when you came here?
Well, it's difference, how big it is, and also the size of the people. Because I came from Nigeria, where a lot of people are.
You're not talking about the size of me, just in particular.
I'm used to it now.
You and I are about the same weight. I don't know why you pick on me.
When I first came, I've never seen that many tall and big people together in one country.
Yeah. We're going to have to take a commercial break. By the way, you can get this. What's on this tape? Is this you doing great shooting and stuff?
Some of the highlights.
Some of the highlights. Okay, we'll be back with basketball superstar Hakeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets, and we'll talk more about the competitiveness of sports. This peaceful guy gets pretty rough when he gets out there. I mean, I know he's a peaceful guy, and I don't mean to take that away from him, but he has been known to take a few shots, and people are afraid of him. We'll be right back.
Final seconds, Anderson. The Houston Rockets have won their second consecutive NBA championship. They have swept the Orlando Magic.
What was going through your mind right there?
I was just so grateful. Thank God for the opportunity, and also looking at the battle with Shaquille and myself, and try to congratulate him, hug him.
Yeah, I saw you hug him. He didn't look like a happy guy.
Well, I can understand his feeling losing that series.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
Very tough. Did he ever talk to him after that?
Not yet.
No?
Maybe next week.
He's still he's still healing.
Well, it's still young, and they have a young team where they have a long career ahead of them. So I'm sure they'll be back.
How many years can you play? You're what, 32?
32.
32, and not married, so that'll work in your favor.
No, I don't think so. I'm
You're ready to get married. I heard that. We were talking in the break, actually. I'm kidding about this. But, you can write to us here if you want to marry him. We can, we'll pass the letters along. You're really ready to get married.
I mean, that's 50% of my faith. You have to. That save you from all indecency.
Ah, okay. Yes, so you're right up against the old line of indecency now, and you better get married pretty soon. Is that it? I get it. Yeah, we used to call that orny. I understand there are several names for it, but I really respect that about you. That's an admirable trait. What kind of a young woman are you looking for?
The one with Islam teaches you who to marry, how, what to look for. Not the wealth, not the beauty, but the one with religious integrity. Religious integrity? Yes.
Personally, I'm looking for wealth and beauty, but...
Good luck.
But I figure if there are enough guys like you, there'll be a lot left over for me, you know what I mean? So religious integrity, so you will marry a Muslim woman, somebody who is of your faith and so on.
That would be the ideal, but in Islam, we are also allowed to marry Christian or Jewish lady, except non-believers. We cannot marry non-believers.
As long as they believe in God.
In God. Because the essence of Islam is the unity of God. God is one.
Okay.
That's it.
Do you think Americans place too much importance on sports?
Well, I think sport is something that unites everybody together. Right. So it becomes an important to promote peace, because everybody can discuss it. The children, the father, the family, the friends. So it brings everybody together.
There are people who complain about competition, that competition is not good, that it teaches people that somebody loses. I happen to think competition is great. Does it bother you that somebody loses?
Well, competition brings the best out of everybody. You have to. It's not about losing, it's how you lose. Do your best, give it the best shot, work hard, do your best, and you can't win all the time.
What's your best shot? What's the shot that you know you can make 99 out of 100 times? Your outside shooting is seen as very strong for a big guy who usually plays the inside game, right?
Yes. I like a layup, So.
In other words, no chances. Right? What happened here with the Knicks? What was Ewing at the last minute? He tried the layup. Did you see that shot when he went for the layup? He made a mistake because he's a born dunker, right?
Oh, he should have dunked it.
Now, was he in a position to dunk on that shot or not? He looked like he was too far from the basket, and he thought he could just...
I thought it was, but he was just trying to be too careful.
That's what it looked like,
yes,
didn't it?
He's trying to be too careful.
He should have just gone up that, put his arm straight through the basket, right? And he,
well, it was a tough series for them.
yeah, it was a tough series. What do you think of Riley quitting?
Well, I think maybe it's time for him to move on because in New York, it's very tough.
Tough market, yeah.
Tough market, and the media very, so maybe go somewhere else where there'll be less pressure.
Did you pick Houston or did Houston pick you?
I picked Houston.
Why?
My first stop, in fact, was New York.
First stop was New York.
I was supposed to go to St. John.
Oh.
But the day I came in, it was raining and cold.
Ooh.
I said,
You said, hey, man, this is terrible. If you'd have come to New York on a day like today, you'd probably be in New York.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I went back. My next stop was Houston. So it was sunny and very nice, very open.
Houston has the largest bugs I've ever seen. Have you ever seen? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Hakeem? They have bugs that are larger than my head. I was in a motel once in Houston, and I went out and took a little walk outside, and there was I thought it was a guy's head on the walk moving, but it was a bug. It was the biggest bug I've ever seen. So I went back inside, and I have never gone back there. But a good friend of mine lives there, former President George Bush.
Yes.
Lives in Houston, and he loves it. But
yes.
they do have large bugs, don't they?
I don't know.
They may look small to you. Now that I think about it, maybe they look like small bugs, they look like large bugs to me. But anyway, Houston's a great city, other than that large bug I encountered one night outside my room.
Maybe it was just one of those nights or one of those days.
Just an unlucky night for me. I don't know what it was, but it was a night that really drove me crazy. So how many years can you play?
Well, the way I approach it year by year, is to stay in condition.
Do you have any injuries? Do you have any places that are a little shaky, knees,
No,
ankles?
No, that's training. I've been blessed and fortunate not to have any knee or back. So, in fact, today I'm more flexible than I was 10 years ago.
Really?
Yes.
You do a lot of stretching?
Or stretching. My training program is more plyometrics, specific for basketball, out of movement, quickness, agile.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna take another break here. You can get this Olajuwon cassette if you want it at any store that sells these tapes, and we'll be right back after these.
The Houston Rockets select Hakeem Olajuwon of the University of Houston.
Hakeem Olajuwon, who started playing basketball just 5 years ago from Nigeria, is now the #1 pick.
Look like a pretty happy guy that day, huh? 1995 NBA Finals MVP, Hakeem Olajuwon is here. You are known as a well-dressed guy. You like clothes and you like to look well-dressed, and you're also into design of clothes and so on, right?
I love design,
Yeah?
art, fabrics, colors.
Somebody said you had a pretty impressive art collection. Is that true?
No, I don't know how impressive it is, but
What kind? What do you collect? Modern art or
abstract?
Abstract.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Just color and simple design, just serenity, very, very calm and peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the tennis shoe. You wear this tennis shoe now in games?
Yes, I mean the concept behind that is to come out with a shoe that is well designed, comfortable, quality, but the only difference is in price. The price is $45, $40.
That's half the price of some shoes on the
market. Yes, and that's what I wear in the game for championship series throughout the whole season.
If there's anybody in America who doesn't know what this guy does for a living, and he makes a good living at it, let's show a little footage here of him in action. Hakeem Olajuwon. Oh, we've got to talk there. What game was that? I can't tell. That's the hardest shot, that side shot, isn't it? Ooh, who's the toughest player you ever played against?
Well, I've been playing against so many tough opponents now. With Shaquille, David Robinson, Ewing. They're all tough.
Patrick Ewing did a good job in the
all
in the
tough
players. He didn't get a lot of help from the outside shooting, and the foul shooting was a disaster. Your foul shooting's pretty good, isn't it? What's your what do you hit? Yeah, average.
I don't know, 75.
75%?
Yes.
Yeah?
But when it counts, in the last 2 minutes, shooting 90%.
90%?
That's when you concentrate even. much
Is
more.
that the hardest shot when you're standing at the foul line and you're 2 points down and you got two foul shots coming? Is that the most pressure?
It does, I mean, the
Because
game,
you're out there alone.
the game on the line,
Yeah.
and you're by yourself.
What happens to you when you blow it? When you really miss? Do you lie awake at night and replay it in your mind, or are you
No,
able to get over it?
I look forward.
You do.
Because there's nothing you can do about the past. The only thing you can do is to learn from it and just do something for the future.
Where'd you get this reputation of being the best dressed? You spend a lot of dough on clothes? I mean, you got a couple bucks now. Huh?
No, I just like, you know, simplicity, nice, clean design, simple outfit, just.
There you are in a nice, simple blazer that looks like it uses more material than my suit.
I think we use the same, you know.
Same amount of material, I think,
so.
yeah. Mine's a little more horizontal, yours is a little more vertical, but other than that, it's the same amount.
We just go in two different directions.
That's right, it's two different directions, a hell of a team. Hakeem, you're a wonderful guy, and I know why everybody in this business likes you and everybody in America likes you. You're really a terrific guy, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.